Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Welcome back to part two of our episode recap. I'm assuming most of you guys saw the first, the previous one, which is the recap of the first five episodes. I think we did a recap till Ocean's 11. So in today's episode, we will be actually going ahead. So first things first. Hey Kareem, what's up, bro? How's it going?
What's up, Chef? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to part two. Welcome back to part two of this series. If you had just fresh finished part one, we're gonna keep it rolling. And if you're seeing this first, be sure to check out part one because we are right now doing a recap of all the episodes that we've done audio only until we got the idea to turn on the camera. So we're doing a quick recap to welcome our new viewers and to get you guys up to speed.
Perfect. So we stopped in the last video. Actually, we stopped with Ocean's 11. So I think we will start with episode 6, which is deep work. So Kareem, you want me to take this, or you want to start with this?
Yeah, I'll take it. Deep work is a concept popularized by Mr. Cal Newport. You guys may have heard you may have heard the expression deep work before. In case you don't know, it's actually based on a book of the same title, Deep Work. And the concept is painfully simple, which is why it made me hesitate for 4 or 5 years before actually picking up the book. And I really wished I picked it up like 4 or 5 years earlier because it just goes in so much more detail than the surface level. But on a surface level, deep work is referring to you really getting into a state of flow when you're doing something that is motivating, rewarding, your craft, your work really, and doing so for long uninterrupted periods of time. To be more specific, doing something for like 4 hours uninterrupted, no emails, no nothing, just music, right? Or just reaching out to prospects, or like just coding, or whatever it is that you do, and really doing that and getting into a state of flow and activating all the things that only come with you being super focused, super locked in. And what I love about the book, and me and Chef go deep on it in no pun intended in the actual episode, and we talk about some of the things that we've learned in from the book around really actually the huge disadvantages and negatives of even stopping for like a quick email, distraction, or answering somebody in a colleague of yours, whether like through Zoom or face to face or what have you, and really the importance of having this time as a sacred time, even if it means that you're disorganized the rest of the day, but you almost let your colleagues know, you let your family know that, guys, I just want one thing from you: these 4 hours, like I don't exist in these 4 hours, and then you really just go to work.
I just wanted to quickly add one more thing. Something that I really wanted to say in this episode, but I missed out, is if there are any Harry Potter fans, the author of Harry Potter series, she actually used this mechanism. Okay, there is different kinds of mechanisms mentioned in this book. Okay, ways that you can actually be completely distraction free. Okay, that is the whole idea of deep work. There is 3 or 4 approaches. So she actually used, I think it was J.K. Rowling. Yeah, she actually used this mechanism to actually complete the whole series. So definitely check it out. If you are a student, if you are a person who's working, if you are a mom, if you are I don't know, whatever you are, whichever part.
If you're working on something meaningful, you should check it out.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be the epic concept of getting away from distraction. And one small sneak peek. This is the same guy who actually, Cal Newport is somebody who actually really promotes getting off social media as well. So definitely check out this episode and get the book if you want to work without any distraction. So I think so. That is more or less. So let's quickly jump into the next episode. And I think Kareem, this is one of my favorites. So I'm going to actually take the lead on this one.
Go for it.
So the episode number 7, we discuss about this amazing concept called the abundance mindset. Yeah. The word itself, abundance, makes me feel so abundant. But anyway, so again, this was something very timely during the time when we actually recorded this, and we published this somewhere around April, mid of April.
Yeah.
This was again the time when the COVID-19 was at its peak. This was a time when people are actually fighting over toilet papers all over the US. And even in Dubai, where I am, like, people are panic buying. And, so we basically started this whole episode with an example of somebody at a grocery store and stuff like this. But the whole idea is, the concept basically is about an idea of thinking that, there is enough of everything, like all the resources. There is enough for everyone. Basically, the cake is big enough for everyone to have a slice. Yeah, this is contrary to many of the belief that we actually have, which is called the scarcity mindset, where you actually feel everything is limited, be it money, be it time, be it resources.
Yeah.
So this is usually quite famous from the cultures that we all come from, where we actually feel, and one of the examples we take is me and Kareem, for example, we are looking for a job. Yeah. And Kareem gets a job in this current situation. And I'm like, oh my God, Kareem got this job. Now I will not get this job. But what the abundance mindset teaches you is to look at this as an opportunity. Oh, wow, Kareem got a job in this situation. That means I can also get a job. Yeah.
Yep.
So really, this is a very, very interesting concept, which is going to really shake some of our foundations, of our belief system, how we look at the world, and a very big mindset change. So definitely check 100%. This out. Definitely go through the episode.
And just to add quickly to that, Chef, like, I think one of the amazing things about abundance is that it's already there. Mm-hmm. It's one of those facts of life, like, you know what I mean? Like, whether you agree with it or not, talking to the viewers, whether you agree with it or not, whether you see it or not, it's all around you. So you might as well tap into that. And this is not like a wishy-washy, vague concept. There's like physical evidence of this everywhere you look. And really check this episode out, because as Chef said, it's really going to shake a lot of the unnecessary, like, preconceived notions that a lot of us have around, hey, like, there's not enough for everyone, specifically during this time. I think this concept, which we obviously didn't invent, we were just talking about it, but this concept is more crucial right now, more than ever before.
Definitely. So and definitely once you actually read up and listen to this concept, you'll also be introduced to the whole scarcity mindset as well. So anyways, moving on, I think we will move to episode number 8. This one again is something which I was a big fan
take
of.
This one, bro.
The episode is called Invisible Scripts. Yeah. Now, basically, when you listen, the first time when I heard a script, I think of movie making, or in a movie you have a script, but literally this is not what it is about. It's about the scripts, okay, the hidden invisible scripts that are running in our minds. Okay.
Well, your life is like a movie, so it kind of makes sense from a script perspective.
So this concept basically comes from a book called "I Will Teach You to Be Rich" by the author, and this amazing, like one of I'm a big fan of this guy called Ramit Sethi. You can check him out online. But so he introduces this concept called invisible scripts. Now, this is not a new concept which is there out there. He just termed it in a way that is, it's quite easy for us to discuss. So what is an invisible script? The most common invisible script is you need a college degree to be successful. Okay. For example, traveling is for rich people. Yeah. You need to look a particular way, speak a particular way to be successful. Yeah, there is so many scripts. Yeah, like, for example, if you don't have a master's degree, you cannot achieve this. So in this episode, we actually open this concept up. We give a lot of different examples and very practical examples of from day-to-day lives. And again, this is also one of those core episodes which is going to, like abundance mindset, this is actually going to open up. After you understand this concept, the moment you actually look around, we also give some tips in this episode on how to catch yourself, when the script kicks off, and how to replace the scripts. So a very, very interesting episode. Definitely check it out as well. So moving on, I think that is episode number 8. We will move into episode number 9. Now, this is Kareem's baby. Kareem, lead and lag measures. You want to take it up?
Oh man, lead and lag measures, my favorite topic in the world as of recent. Okay, so lead and lag measures is one of the most underrated concepts. It's not a popular concept at all, in my opinion. It's based on a book called, and yet it's extremely, extremely powerful. It's based on a book by like four different guys. I don't remember all their names, but it's written by, produced by the Franklin Covey, the company, the same company, who the guys behind it, they created the 7 Effects of Highly Effective People. So it's the same kind of like lineage of that. And they wrote a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, right? You may think, this is such a bland topic, but it's one of the most revolutionary books I've come across. And I'm currently rereading it at the moment. But basically, one of the 4 disciplines of execution is, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically measuring the lead measures or focusing on the lead measures as opposed to the lag measures. So in plain English, lag measures are what all of us usually tend to do when we try and set goals. So if you think about, a goal that you've set recently, let's say for New Year's Eve, for New Year's resolutions or quarterly goals or what have you. Let's say it's to make X amount of money, or it's to lose X amount of weight, or to go from X to Y, essentially. This really is, what's known as a lag measure, because by the time you find out if you've reached this goal or not, it's already too late. Like if I want to make X amount of money by the end of the year, and I just wait until the end of the year comes, by then it's already too late. So it's a lagging measure. It lags behind whatever progress you would have done up until then, which is exactly what the definition of lead measures are. Lead measures, unlike lag measures, are things that are directly in your control. And these are things that you can actually work on every single day and every single week that are highly predictive or predicting of the goal, and highly influenceable as well. So things that are within your control. It's out of my control to lose, let's say, 20 kg, but it's in my control to let's say go to the gym every day, or to do a set number of exercises every day. And so the point of this episode, and we go deep on it in the episode, Chef and I, we really talk about the art really of shifting towards thinking about the things and measuring the things that are within your control, and just focusing on those, and that the lag measure will take care of itself once you take care of the lead measures.
Yeah.
Chef, anything to add from your side?
Basically, summarizing it, lag measures are, that big goal that you have. Like, for example, somebody has a big goal of getting a 6-pack. Somebody has a goal of making 1 million dirhams or dollars or what have you. Somebody has a goal of achieving X. So that is your lag. Lead is, and surprisingly, everywhere, every book, everybody talks about having big lag measures, big goals. Okay. But nobody ever speaks about the lead measures. Now, this concept personally for me as well just opened this up. Like lag, you have the goal. Lead is what are those 100 steps or those 5 steps that you need to keep doing again and again. Whereas like you just set the lag measure and you forget about it, and you just focus on the lead, where one fine day suddenly you'll realize you've already reached there or you've achieved your lag measure. So amazing concepts again guys. This concept I was not aware of. After this episode, I read a lot. Personally, my business, even in my personal life, it really changed a lot of things. So I think we've actually covered now almost episode number 9. We will quickly jump into episode number 10, which is create once, serve many. So Kareem, this is going to be something that you can take up as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So create once, serve many.
Bro,
this
1
is
minute.
Something that's.
Bro, just hold over there, okay? Just 1 minute. I
Sure.
think my camera stopped. 1 minute. Bro, you did not stop the recording, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, perfect. Actually, only my laptop thing crashed, but camera is still recording, so it's cool. We just continue.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can take it up from there.
All right, guys. So when it comes to create once, serve many, this is definitely a COVID-19 special. And in terms of, it's something that that you could really act on right now, and it's something that could really be beneficial to yourself and also to others around you, and it goes both ways. But it's really about finding creative ways that you can really multiply the value that you're giving to other people, and to reverse engineer it based on that. So I'm gonna stop speaking abstractly. More practically, what that means is, what are the things that you can create once that you could really put everything you have into it, but even though you've created it once, you can continue to benefit so many other people from it. So an example of that would be, what ideas can you go to udemy.com with and other online course platforms and create a course where you're essentially recording that course in video once and being able to benefit many people with it. Or again, speaking of video, what kind of content can you create, let's say for your company, for your career, for let's say your YouTube channel, that you can create once, and even several years after the fact, you're still benefiting a lot of people? What kind of book can you write? What kind of product can you code, can you build? And really getting yourself in this mindset. Me and Chef talk about it more in the episode, but really choosing to focus your efforts creatively on the thing that you can create once and really be able to benefit a lot of people in. And by the way, like, this also applies to, if you're not like a business owner, or if you're working inside a large company, there's so many different ways that you can apply that, including, for example, building a process for your colleagues that they can take once and really run with it, or a playbook for your colleagues as such, or maybe an internal video series that could really help them get upskilled on something that you've already mastered or recently have learned from. Should you have anything to add from your side?
And if you look at it from a non-business perspective also, even personally, for example, if you're actually doing something that, like Kareem said earlier, is of very high benefit, and because you are alone, and if, for example, if you do it by yourself, if the impact is going to be like X, if you actually create it in a way that, for example, that 100 other people can actually take it up. Now, it could be, for example, making a video like Kareem said. It could be even something that you're doing at home. But the whole idea is where you can create once and many people can actually benefit. Now, like I said, this could be a business, or it could be anything personal as well. And one of the best examples that Kareem gave in this is, for example, in Udemy, which I think even Kareem is a big fan. I think Kareem, literally, some of the stuff that he actually knows, he has courses on Udemy, guys. You should definitely check Kareem's courses on Udemy. And
I have one, and it's not even approved yet, so let's see.
and more or less
what
we are doing with this podcast is exactly the same. Like, one of the things we missed out to say is the whole idea of this podcast was me and Kareem sit in, whenever we meet each other, whenever we get on a call, we start talking about these deep topics,
that's true, actually.
Yeah, so these very abstract topics or very interesting topics, and these are topics which I personally know many people who I know, like, my friends or people who are from my community, they don't even think about things like this. How I know this is after we start doing this podcast, I've gotten a lot of feedback saying, what, thank you for introducing this concept to us. So we thought, it is just both of us listening to this, each other's opinions, and we are benefiting from each other. Why not at least even 5 people, 10 people, 100 people? Yeah. So this is a very good example of creating once. So now this video is actually created. This podcast is actually created. And as long as this podcast is there, people can benefit from it. I think that's a very good example.
Yeah, and I love that example, Chef, because it's like the perfect example. And just to summarize what you said, like we would have had, guys, like me and Chef would have had these conversations on WhatsApp anyway, like or on Zoom, like on the phone anyway. The only difference is that we hit record and we do it in a more scheduled fashion, because we are hoping that other people can come in on these conversations and benefit from them. You might be having similar conversations with your friends, or things that you believe could be of value. Well, share it on, and again, like I'm just such a big fan of, like, we're such big fans of video, because you can record so many different, like, anything could be recorded on video, if you know what I mean. We're using your creativity. You can think of what you're doing and really put it up on video. And this is like an instant way. It's like instant coffee. It's an instant way to create once and serve many.
And moving on to the next episode, which is episode number 11, Challenge Yourself. Yeah. This is also this was a fun episode, actually. The concept came I was just scrolling through Instagram. I saw somebody's video and I just got this idea. And I bring it to Kareem, and Kareem says, you know what? He spins it up. The whole idea, this episode in a nutshell, is basically how you can become a lawyer. Okay. And not a lawyer like a.
Oh yeah, I was like, I forgot that episode, but now I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, it was a very fun episode where you can become a lawyer, but not in a legal court. The court is going to be your mind or your head, and you can basically become a lawyer who will fight for yourself. Yeah,
A lawyer against yourself. Yeah.
against yourself, because I think most of us
Yeah.
need it, because most of us have these really messed up or really negative dragging down self-talk, self-doubt and stuff like this. So only one concept we introduce in this. So basically how you can challenge yourself by becoming a lawyer who will fight against yourself. And the example we give is anytime you're planning to do something new in your life, okay, maybe starting a new project or starting a new hobby or starting this new business or starting whatever it could be, is the first time that you're doing, and immediately this thought comes in, oh Shiaf, oh Kareem, or XYZ, how will you do this? Do you think you can actually do this? You're going to fail and all this stuff, right? So immediately you can stop right there.
Yeah.
We introduce this concept where anytime in your life where you have accomplished a task like this where you thought you will not be successful, you write it down somewhere in a notebook, in a piece of paper, or even a notepad in your laptop, and you save it over there. So the next time you are actually going to attempt a task like this where you feel immediately at the get-go that you're not going to be able, you just go back to this previous notepad or a notebook and just look at it and see, you know what? Remember, Shiaf, you thought like this. Okay, you thought you would not succeed, but you achieved this. Yeah. So
Yeah, and just to clarify what Sharaf is saying also about the lawyer reference, it's almost like a lawyer making a case against you. Is like, you're saying you can't do this. Well, technically, when we look at the history, you did actually do something that was relevant to that before. You did actually build a transferable skill that you can now apply towards what you're doing right now. So your argument is invalid. You can do this. You've done it before.
Definitely. So definitely check this episode out. It's a short, sweet, fun episode. I'm sure it'll really help, many of you guys who actually listen to it. Now, quickly moving on to is episode number 12, which is called Imposter Syndrome. Yeah. Now, this is also one of those episodes which actually will go back to your foundations. And this is quite similar to the Invisible Script episode that we actually did. But this actually gives a name to some of the invisible scripts that you have. The word imposter syndrome it's quite famous, also known as imposter experience. In a nutshell, you are trying to do something new, or you're trying to get something done, or you're going to give a presentation, or you're planning to address 100,000 people. Yeah. And obviously you are in a position as such. You've had some success in your life. You are an entrepreneur. You have a team. You know, this kind of thoughts that actually come into your mind where you feel, for example, it happens to me a lot. I'm sure it happens to most of you, where you think, Shiaf, are you sure are you an expert in this? Aren't you a fake? Aren't you like trying to be somebody you're not? What if people find out you're not an expert? What if people think you are a fake? Yeah. So this whole concept called imposter syndrome revolves around this idea. And surprisingly, research suggests that 70% of human beings who are alive, they actually go through this once or twice in their life, at least once in their life. Yeah. And this
Probably a lot more. Yeah.
a lot more. And surprisingly, this was actually they actually found this out. And initially they actually thought this is something that only affects women. Okay, because the person who actually found this was also a female lady scientist, where she saw a lot of women who were like toppers, like A+, like really high performers, were having a lot of self-doubt. Yeah, so when they started looking into it, they understood this is not just affecting women, it affects everybody. And if you are somebody who has had some sort of success in your life, this is definitely going to affect you. And in a nutshell, again, this is a thought where you feel like you are being an imposter, where you feel all the success that you've had is a luck. So definitely check this out. I think it's going to be an interesting episode. Kareem, is there anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, real quick. On the imposter syndrome episode, I believe we also talk about how you can, really look at ways to take it step by step with yourself, and almost like mental tricks to trick yourself into actually doing what you need to be doing, so that you can overcome that and really realize that, you know, that having imposter syndrome is a healthy sign. In a weird way, it's a healthy sign that, you know what, you're experiencing this because you care about what you're about to do. Otherwise, you would have just went in and done it. But the fact that you are feeling this, you really want to make sure that you're doing a great job. And it's very synonymous with the saying that, you know, the more you do something, the more you realize you don't know anything at all. Like, you know, the more you realize that, like, there's just so much more to learn. Whereas someone who isn't experienced may feel very quickly that, oh yeah, I know all about this. But really, the true craftsman, the true professional, you know, as a lot of people would say, would really recognize and have the humility that, you know what, the more I do this, the more I realize there's layers to it, and but I am getting better as I go, and I'm aware of all the things I still need to learn as such.
True. And definitely, you know, I'm sure, you know, in this episode, like Kareem said, we give a lot of tips and ways to actually overcome this. And I think with this, we'll actually move to our last episode, which we'll be actually covering in the recap, which is called What is Happiness? Now,
Yep, go chef.
yeah. So this is another episode which did not come from a book. I was actually researching about something, and I happened to stumble upon this test called the PERMA model. Yeah. Now this is basically a framework to actually assess your well-being. Basically, in a nutshell, how happy you are. So, and this got me really intrigued. I took this test and I started reading more about this. And basically, somebody, I forgot the name, Martin Seligman, I think, yeah, is a scientist who's a big advocate of positive psychology. He actually came up with this idea or concept that, you know, when we say happiness, what is happiness? So he actually breaks it down into 5 different things. He says when 5 of these things actually come together is what we actually call happiness. So quickly, what are these 5 things? He breaks it down into this model called PERMA, which is positive emotion, engagements, which are like hobbies that we engage in, relationships, which are like meaningful relationships, and meaning, and accomplishments. So basically, this is PERMA, PERMA. And in this episode, we actually go through each and every aspect of these sections, because I think if we actually try and go through this, it is going to take a lot of time. But some really, really insightful tips. Like basically, when I started reading about this, learning about this, it made it very easy for me to understand why I was happy, or why I was not happy sometimes, or why I'm not in content. Because there is one of these areas where I'm actually lacking. For some people, it was positive emotions. For some people, it was engagement. Like there are a lot of people who don't have hobbies. Yeah, many people. So it actually shows if you are okay in the next all other 4 areas. If you feel you're not having a hobby, or you don't have anything that actually keeps you busy, maybe you work on the hobby side. For many millennials, or even the boomers for some case, you know, many people don't, like for example, they feel there is no meaning to life. Yeah, sometimes. So we also discuss this, how it is very important to actually have meaning. So definitely check this episode out. And not just the episode, even in the episode, we really encourage people to actually read more about this concept. So I think more or less this is until episode number 13. And where episode number 14 ended was with the new normal, which is the last one, which is there available on video and audio. So you guys can go check it out. So Kareem, is there anything more you want to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think that was a really good recap that we've done. Our goal, guys, was to help, was to just give you like a call to action, or like to interest you in checking out some of these episodes. Of course, please give us your comments on whether you think some topics we should go a little bit deeper on. It could give us an excuse to do like a part 2, or to go back to that same topic, but like really revisit it and go into more specific details, even more practical examples and details. So definitely give us your feedback on the last episodes, because even me and Chef, like we always catch ourselves realizing sometimes we're talking about one thing and we're like, oh my god, that's actually related to something we've talked about before. And the goal here is not to always, come up with new things, but rather to really continue honing in on the things that really are the secrets to living, like, I suppose, like a fulfilling or meaningful life.
Perfect, guys. So I think that is all from us on this episode. Hope you guys check out our podcast. We will catch you in the next episode, which is going to be a very interesting one. Until then, guys, take care and stay safe. That's all from us. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.